Hey, what is up everybody? Dylan here from Iceberg TV. Today, I've got a very rare disc, and unfortunately, the intro I filmed out on the course, I guess I just didn't hit record. The clip is completely gone. I have an Innova, an original Innova Arrow here. I do believe it's from the 2002 run. This disc was originally PDJ approved back in 1983. And is a very sought after collector's disc. I have one of the champion ones. I have the cherry red kind of gummy champion Arrow. Yeah, I was really excited to get my hands on this disc, and it's a really, really sweet disc that I'm excited to add to my collection. But anyway, enough chatting. You can check out my links in the description below to check out my sponsors of the channel. I'll see you guys out on the course.
And the Arrow was originally PDJ approved back on, I believe, June 1st of 1983. So this disc is about 10 years older than I am. And it's still in impeccable condition. This old gummy champion plastic just seems to live forever. Oh, it's so straight. It's still an excellent flyer after all these years as well. The Arrow would have come out right at the tail end of like the old school lid Pluto platter era, and the Arrow would have been probably the farthest flying disc and one of the most revolutionary frisbees made of all time up until that point. And I don't know what the flight numbers are supposed to be, but I have to say it's probably like a 3-4-0-0. Not a ton of turn, not a ton of fade, just absolutely, almost knocked the tripod over, absolutely dead straight, which is going to be the perfect shot for hole 3 here. Just put it up in the air, let it go straight. Oh, see, I got over on it just a little bit, and once it found that angle, it's not going to deviate off that angle for the entire flight. Very similar to how a glitch flies. I do actually have a glitch in the bag, so I might as well throw the glitch as well. What's cool about the Arrow is the Arrow's max weight. Most glitches aren't heavier than like 155 grams. It's literally same exact mistake. Kind of got over on it a little bit, found its way on Annie almost right away. It's not going to come off that Annie throughout the entire flight. Let her rip.
Oh, you want me to throw it?
Yeah.
All right.
Celebrity shot.
You're never getting it back. So.
All right, this is Nathan. Bumped into him on hole 4 here.
Say goodbye to the Arrow.
Say goodbye to the Arrow. Oh, that's a nice rip, dude.
Yeah,
Apparently. That was a nice shot. Good job.
thank you.
All right, Nathan put the Arrow, boom, right at circle's edge here. That was a heck of a toss for a first-time Arrow enjoyer. All right, my favorite hole on the course, hole 5. Need to give it a ton of height. Let the Arrow do what it does. Go nice and straight. So it definitely has a tick of stability. It's gonna be right inside the circle for a nice little easy birdie putt. The Arrow, for a lot of people, if you were to get one and try one, would probably have a bit of a learning curve. Nathan threw it really, really well, surprisingly, but it's very deep in the hand, and if you don't have a good fan grip, you will likely struggle throwing the Arrow because it just is so deep in the hand. And I think this is one of those discs, I don't know the actual flight numbers, but I would say it's like a true 0-0 as long as you have a good clean release. But if you don't have a good clean release, this thing, if you get it wobbling, it's just going to turn over right away. If you have a lot of off-axis torque or any big issues with your form that cause you not to have a clean release, this thing is not going to fly like how you saw myself and Nathan throw it just then. It's going to fly a lot more understable than you'd expect. And you saw it back on hole 3 when I got kind of yanked over on it a little too much. It found that anhyzer just held the turn the whole way. It's a very useful shot to have, but ideally I'm trying to throw it nice and straight, then maybe just get a very tiny fade at the end of the flight. If not, no fade at all. So if I throw it really hard, again, it found a touch of anhyzer, but then just held that turn over the whole way. This would be a really, really fun disc for super long turnover shots. My main throwing putter at the moment has been this PFN Neutron Ion. but it flies a lot more stable than the Arrow. Man, it would be like insane style points to bag that old school Arrow. But you can see a little bit more stability, a little bit more torque resistance. That's kind of the flight you're going to get out of a more modern putter of a similar style. That MVP putter's very deep in the hand as well. Feels really great on the fan grip as well. But we're getting two very different flights because both discs feature such different levels of technology in them. But with that being said, honestly, if you needed me to throw a turnover, I'd way rather throw it with the Arrow than I would with the Ion, because I know if I get it on Annie, as long as I throw it with the right release, it's going to hold that Annie the whole way. As to where the Ion is going to flatten out and start to pan at the end of the flight. I think it's probably likely due to the gyro technology, more weight on the outside of the disc, more gyroscopically stable, causing it to be more stable when flying through the air. All right, so that's the basket right down there. The tee is up and to the left. I'm going to show you guys how to ace with the old Arrow. Oh, I kicked the tree cut in its prime. That was a perfect ace line. Oh no. And just so you guys are sort of privy to what's coming soon, I have the Total Eclipse pitch. So if you want to see that review, make sure you subscribe, like today's video, and let me know you're looking forward to the review of the pitch. And I guess another super cool and interesting to me golden tidbit to share with you guys is the course I'm at, Reedy Creek in Charlotte, North Carolina, was put in 1989. So the Arrow was PDGA approved 6 years before this course in 1989 was put in. Just thinking back to how far disc golf has come since I started playing, right around 2017, 2018, makes me think about the pioneers that were throwing these right when they very first came out, when disc golf was like, disc golf feels like a niche sport right now, but imagine throwing this Champion Arrow in the mid 80s when it very first came out as the hot new beveled edge disc on the market. Imagine how niche disc golf was back then compared to how niche it is right now. It's insane how much it's grown since then. Hole 8 could potentially be great for the Arrow, but it's imperative that I keep it as straight as an Arrow. You cannot really deviate much off the straight line at all. That was actually totally intentional. That was just a durability test. Testing out 40-year-old Innova plastic, full power into a tree. And this Champion Arrow has passed the test. One thing that was really interesting about that, because it's so soft and gummy, it didn't just hit and kick like a new disc would. It hit and flexed and then just sort of flopped on the ground in the fairway. You get the massive tree kick that I'm used to when I hit that tree. Food for thought. Come on. That's going to be inside the circle for a nice putt, actually. And just a quick teaser, because I do want to throw the pitch once today. It's basically the Axiom version of the glitch. So it's like a Total Eclipse. Still has the overmold, I believe. It's not the streamlined version, it's the Axiom version. Curious to see how this guy flies. Ooh, a little more stable than I expected. That Neutron glitch will actually get up and turn a little when I put it up like that. That one was a bit more stable. Anyway, this review will be out soon. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Again, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below. Are you looking forward to the review of the pitch? I know I'm looking forward to playing a 9-hole round with this disc. All right, hole 9 is potentially a good hole for the Arrow. I just need to hit it with height. I kind of need to force the issue on the Anheuser a little bit to get it to hold that line the whole way. Every time I've kind of gotten over on it, it just stays turned over the whole time. So we just need to do that on purpose. Oh, I love that line out of my hands so much. That's so tough on the last hole. All right, guys, the Innova Arrow. One of the more fun discs I've thrown in a while. I think this disc has a ton of utility on those long 250, 275-ish, just dead straight shots, or 275 feet where you want to put it up in the air and then have it move from left to right the whole way. So like full power with height. If you can get this thing to find the angle, it's just going to hold it the entire way. And in my opinion, that makes this a super fun and useful disc to throw. You saw how compared to my Ion, not nearly as stable as my main throwing putter. If I can make a case to put this guy in the bag, this is probably one of the coolest discs I have in my collection up until this point. If I had to give it flight numbers again, I kind of said 3400. I think I'll give it 4400. I'll put the actual flight numbers up on the screen so you guys can see what they actually are. But anyway, Innova Arrow, yummy red champion arrow. If you own one of these, you are one lucky disc golfer. I'll see you guys in the next video. Check out my sponsors with the link in the description below. See you guys in the next video, and take care.